Ben Bernanke is doing a series of lectures. This is the first of 4.
That's right.
And you say it's to teach history.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to watch, and I think the students at George Washington University got a real kick out of it as well. So yeah, he's doing 4 lectures. Obviously, before serving in government, he was a professor at Princeton University and at other universities for many years, and professed to be happy back in the classroom. And you know, if you want to make some bigger picture out of what he's doing, it's yet another communications tool. Among other things, what Bernanke has done that his predecessors didn't is he's raised the profile of the Fed. He's done 60 Minutes interviews. He does press conferences now several times a year. And I think it's been necessary because of what's the Fed's extraordinary measures in 08, 09, and subsequently in all the heat the Fed has taken.
He has to play a little bit of politics out there, especially given some of the slings and arrows thrown at him by conservatives, people like Ron Paul, Rick Perry, who have, you know, used the T word, traitor, when they talk about potential Fed moves and what the Fed is doing and what it stands for. You know, my question is, I always get nervous when I see these guys, like President Obama swigging a beer on St. Patrick's Day and Ben Bernanke giving a lecture. I wonder who's minding the store. But did we see any insight? I mean, people are always trying to read Fed tea leaves.
Sure.
Was there anything in the lecture that suggested where interest rates are going?
Right. The quick answer is no. Certainly nothing that I caught on that. But sure, I mean, I would imagine that a lot of folks on Wall Street spent their midday watching this lecture, not to get caught up on the fact, which I learned that the first central bank was in Sweden somewhere in the mid-1600s, preceded the Bank of England. So, you know, sure, people were looking for tea leaves. I don't think there were many here. Maybe as we go march up through history, and I think he will get to the point where he discusses the Fed reaction in 08, 09, we'll get a little closer. But, you know, obvious things that you knew he stood for again. He pointed out, even though he was very even-handed about it, he pointed out some of the problems with a gold standard. Now, he did say that, yeah, why a gold standard? While he understands why there are some proponents of it, it wouldn't work in a contemporary world. So, you know, there were some hints, and I'll tell you what I was very impressed with. I was very impressed with the students. Got about 10 minutes at the end to ask questions, and they were really good questions, and they try to tie him back to sort of current situations.
Now, the Fed is coming up to its 100th year anniversary next year, right?
That's right. Well, they actually, I think he pointed out, they actually started in 1914. The law was passed in 1913.
So it's very soon. It's going to be a century. Is he sort of setting up to say, look, we did a great job? Because there are a lot of people who wish. There's a lot of people out there who wish he would go back to being a full-time professor.
I don't think it's in his. He's not the kind of person who says we did a great job. Sure, he'll probably wind up in some ways defending what he believed to be the right way to do it, and you can see it. Everybody talked about that. He's an activist Fed chairman. Much of it because he is a scholar about the Great Depression, and lots of people, not just Ben Bernanke, think the central bank made some big mistakes during the Great Depression that exacerbated what was already a bad situation.